Hello and welcome to Pt.1.wmv, also known now as Secret Chef's Business. I'm talking to you live from Melbourne and I'm making you today some arancini. Now what is arancini, you ask? It's like a little ball, like soup, and they're really yummy. They're made of rice. So I'll show you how to make them. Okay, it's me, the Bitchin' Kitchen. Sorry about the camera angle, it's just that I've got to use my tripod because I need both hands, okay? So, here, I've got one packet of Alborio rice. Alborio rice is a special rice that they use for risotto. And the reason they use it for risotto is that it becomes nice and sticky. And you don't wash your rice beforehand because it's already been washed and cleaned, and it's beautiful, little nice round grains they are. You put that on the heat with half a cup of oil, and I've used veggie oil, but you can use canola or peanut or something ordinary. I possibly wouldn't use olive oil because olive oil tends to be for cold things rather than hot things. It changes. Anyway, you need yourself a nice big wooden spoon so you can heat up all of the rice grains. Now, I've already chopped one onion, a brown onion, and put that in there. That gives it a bit of flavour. Okay. I've got a bit of colour going on. It's very slightly brown. It means that the flavour from the onion is just a little bit better, and it also means that my rice grains are well and truly hot. So you can see that there's one bit that's just starting to go brown. Now, I've been doing this constantly. Sorry about the steam in the camera. Oh. I've been doing this constantly for the last 3, 4, 5 minutes or so, just so that all of my rice grains are hot and nothing is burning. And you'll see the rice grains change colour and look a little bit more like fried rice, which is essentially what it is. Now, the next thing I do is I get myself some, I won't show you the brand, oh bugger it, the brand is Massel, and I picked Massel because it is a brand that allows me to serve gluten-free, and it hasn't got all the MSG in it. I don't know what they make it out of, but it's damn good. And I think I'll put about 3 teaspoons of Massel stock powder in there, and I'm using vegetable stock because I'm mindful of the vegetarians, but you can actually make this with chicken stock, which makes it just a little bit nicer. Now make sure it's not burning. Oh, nearly burnt it. Being very careful. And you can hear in the background I've got my kettle boiling. That will do. Now listen. Okay, now all of my water, that 1 litre, has now evaporated and my rice still isn't cooked. So I'm going to use the other half a litre and make sure that sorry about my camera work, I am concentrating on cooking as well as being a cameraman, as well as being a at-home television host, so it is difficult. And English is my second language now as well. Now you'll see that some of the rice grains are sticking to the bottom. Just carefully get them loose, because you don't want to, if you burn the rice, the burn flavour will go all the way through the rice and you'll have to start again. So you don't want that. Now what I'm doing is I'm just making sure that there are no rice grains stuck on the side, so that they are all cooking. And I choose to do this in a low pan because it moves faster. I can actually do this faster. So you'll see the little bits of brown in it that are my bits of onion. And yes, we just got to keep on going until the sauce evaporates. So when it does evaporate, we're going to drain it in a colander in a sink, and I'll show you the next bit. So hang tight for that one. I bet you're enthralled with my excitement here, aren't you? Just enthralled like I am. By the way, this is how we used to do the rice when we make risotto. You ever wondered how they make risotto in a restaurant, and it's like, you know, at home when you do it the recipe way, it takes like half an hour to make risotto. Yet when you're in a restaurant, you get it in like 10-15 minutes. That's because we pre-cook the rice. And if you pre-cook the rice, you can have it cold in the fridge and then just add that to your risotto pan with the white wine and the garlic and the parmesan and the chicken and the mushrooms or whatever it is, and you can make risotto that way, bit of cream, bit of tomato, whatever. But if you do happen to be a chef and are going to do this ahead of time, you have to make sure that your rice doesn't get too old. Only keep it for 1 or 2 days, and don't do the onion part, because the onion tends to send the rice off. The onion goes off before the rice does. So there you go, there's a little secret for you, a little secret chef business. And I hope you're not getting a close-up of my nostril. And so, no, I'll just better check my rice. Now, to check it, I get a little bit like that, and I try and pick up just one little grain, and bite the grain with your teeth, and you can feel that it's not cooked. So, we'll just keep this here. If you find that it's, it'll reduce, the water will reduce depending on how high you have your flame, and I've got mine on full bore. I suppose it depends on whether you're on electric or whether you're on gas. And if it does happen to get a little bit dry, you can always add a little bit more water. So that's what I'm testing right here and now. I've got some more just in case, because I don't want it to burn. Yeah, I do want it to cook all the way through. If I was making risotto, I would leave it a little bit hard, so that it can cook the rest of the way in the sauce. But I'm not making risotto today, I'm making arancini. Now, arancini are basically a cheesy rice ball, and it's an Italian word. And I looked up in the Italian dictionary what arancini means, and it means, you wouldn't guess it, it means orange. Now, arancini don't really look like an orange to me. They do similar because they're crumbed and they're brown, and normally the balls are probably about that size when you buy them in a cafe, like the size of an apple, small apple. But I'm going to make little tiny cheesy balls today, because I want them for, like, you know, little bite-sized. It's starting to check, it's starting to get stuck on the bottom, and each individual rice grain is looking very plump. It's just starting to get hard in the middle. There's just a tiny little bit of hardness in the middle. I might add maybe another little splash of water. So, what's that? That's about 1,600 litres. No, not 1,600 litres. 1.6 litres. 1,600 litres is a lot of litres. Now, how do I do conversion? I don't really work in American, so I'm guessing that would be like maybe about a quart, possibly. But don't quote me, you're going to have to look up your conversion table. Now, you've got to keep in mind that once this rice is cooked, it's going to contain the heat, and it's going to keep the heat going. So, I wouldn't necessarily cook it all the way through, because as it is, like right here, it's basically cooked. And if I cook it any further, it's going to get gluggy. So I'm just going to turn it off here. Just turned it off. And I'm just going to let it sit like that, and it will absorb all the rest of the water. If you want, you can even put a lid on it. That is our rice for our arancini balls.